Testing.
Hello.
Oh my gosh,
God,
dude.
okay, you're just gonna ruin that, like, ruin it?
Can you friggin' calm down there, Mr. Dale Earnhardt? Like,
Skirt.
Martin Scorsese.
Don't do this to me. I don't want to make that sound on this podcast at all today.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. To get ourselves a treat.
Hello? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, you're Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four Stick.
Fantastic Four Stick. I almost thought you were going to say Fantastic Foreskin for a second. I was like, that's the porn parody of the Fantastic Four movie.
It is.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
It's gotta be. It has to be. I'm looking that. Actually, you know what? I'm not looking that
That's
up.
fucking gross. That's fucking gross.
Oh my god.
So, we have a pretty long episode.
Pretty long episode, and it's hearty, baby.
It's hearty.
It's full of news and trailers and lists and
tons of fucking trailers, dude. But that's
right.
to be expected after
the
Super Bowl.
That's right. The Super Bowl. Did you watch any of it?
Nope.
I watched the tail end of it, and I saw that the score was like 10-6 or whatever. And I'm like, wow.
Who even won?
It was the Patriots won, of course.
Of course.
And but apparently, from people saying, I just saw the last like half of the last quarter, and afterwards, people were saying that it was like the worst Super Bowl they've ever seen in every regard. Like the actual game was boring as hell. The halftime show was garbage.
You know what?
The commercials were bad.
There was a game like 4 years ago that was apparently like the worst one. It was a huge blowout. It wasn't even close.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I think it was the Seahawks. I think it was the Seahawks and the Broncos.
Yeah.
Like the Seahawks just totally killed them. Like
Yeah.
I watched that game. It was boring as hell. I'm like, this isn't
boring.
fun. Yeah. So, but that halftime show though, people are mad that they didn't play Sweet Victory.
Yeah.
I'm upset too. People are like legitimately upset about it. I think it's kind of hilarious that they messed up.
I think it's even worse that they played like a part of it and then they're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Because it's like, come on, I thought you were paying tribute. That's the whole point.
Exactly. Like you want to pay tribute to Stephen Hillenburg, and that's the part that does kind of upset me.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, I could not. It's hilarious in like a bad way. That like, I'm like laughing at how bad they messed it up, where they freaking went from Sweet Victory into sicko mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you
Those
serious?
don't work at all.
And the freaking but you know what the funniest part about that was though, when they transitioned from Sweet Victory into sicko mode?
What?
They called Travis Scott a musical genius. Oh. And now a musical genius that needs no introduction. I'm like, they did not know who they were animating that for. And you know what's funny is in that little 30-second snippet of Squidward saying that, you hear it's lit.
It's just from the album.
Yeah.
And it's all over the album. It's
Yeah.
scattered in there.
Oh my gosh. It's lit! Like, so dumb. And Travis Scott was horrendous.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He was terrible. Maroon 5 was bad too, dude. They were all just really... That game
Can't really say I'm a fan of either.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. I actually kind of do like the song Sicko Mode, though. Just like the beat and stuff. It's actually pretty decent.
Same to a degree.
Yeah. Anyway, but so we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl trailers. You know, every Super Bowl there's like, they just unload them all. But they're all 30 seconds though. So, all right. You want to talk about some news? Some movie news.
Okay.
All right. So Jay and Silent Bob are getting a reboot called the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That's the name of the film.
You know what? You did tell me about this.
Yeah.
And you never told me what you thought. What do you think about that?
I'm not huge on Jay and Silent Bob, but that's probably only because I'm not huge on Kevin Smith. Just like a lot of his movies, I'm not that big on. I remember Chasing Amy was pretty good, but I haven't seen it in so long.
Because he's a huge comic guy, and you are also.
I know. It's just there's something about I don't know. There's something about I'm not going to get into it.
It's his movies, not his.
Yeah, exactly. It's his movies. I didn't see Yoga Hosers or Tusk, but like Yoga Hosers looked like. I wouldn't watch that in a million years, dude. Like, it almost seems like he's sort of given up.
I actually have no clue what that is, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you should watch the trailer. Kevin Smith is a evil sausage Nazi. meaning like sausages come to life and they're Nazis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they're like sausage Nazis, and they're trying to like kill his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter, who are the main characters.
That does sound pretty dumb.
Yeah, I heard it was horrible. So, anyway, Jay and Silent Bob. I remember liking Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it holds up now.
Yeah.
So I don't have that affinity toward Kevin Smith movies to really be excited about it, but it's not like I'm offended by it.
We have definitely talked about this before, because we did talk about Chasing Amy when I did watch it at one point in time. But no, I was referring to like the movie title.
Oh, the movie title. I think that's funny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hate on it. But
no, that's funny. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know how old they. I mean, they got to be in their 50s, right? No, 40s, 50s, something like that.
I'd say late 40s.
You know, Jay Muse, who plays Jay, is actually friends with my friend David.
What? Really?
Yeah. Like, well, they know each other. Yeah, like because Jay was invited to. First of all, Jay was at Astronomicon last year.
Okay.
And then it was ironic because we ran into him, and then a couple months later, Facebook Gaming, who David works for, invited Jay Muse out there to play some games and like verse some of its creators and its streamers, and David versed him, and David just creamed him.
Of course.
Like ruined him.
That's what he does.
Wrecked his dreams, yeah. And then Jay kept making jokes like David's got to teach me some things, and he kept like throughout the stream he just remembered being creamed so bad by him, because I think other streamers might have been holding back because it's Jay Muse. David was like, nope, and like just wrecked him, and it was the most memorable experience. So, and then they met at another convention later. I think it was probably for Facebook again, and Jay actually, I think David, text me and correct me if you're listening to this. Jay like went up to him. He's like, David, you remember?
Yeah.
Like, he remembered him. So
anyway, he's gonna remember that ass beating.
That ass beating. He remembered that ass beating, baby. So anyway, so
dude, you're gonna have to get David over here at some point so I can beat his ass.
Oh, I don't know, dude. Well, it depends on the game. Is the thing. Like, David's a fighting game guy.
Oh.
So like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, like NetherRealm games, like that's his thing. He would absolutely destroy you in those.
I have a person that might challenge him.
Oh yeah.
So you got to get him over to my place at some point. You're like, we got to meet up at some point.
Oh yeah. Did you hear that, David? That's a challenge.
I'm not challenging you, but I'm gonna promote somebody.
Okay. I don't know, man. David's pretty legit. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean. I'm not like hating on it. I'm not hating on it.
Yeah, I really do enjoy Clerks. I think that's a really funny movie. So if it's as good as Clerks, I'm looking forward to it.
I find it funny how like Jay and Silent Bob are like in everything that Kevin Smith does.
Yeah.
Even like Dogma, which is like a friggin' like
that movie like ends with like it almost seems like the world ends, or it's like an apocalypse movie. I guess.
Yeah. It's like a fantasy movie almost.
And yeah.
And then like Jay and Silent Bob are just there.
They just kind of go into like alternate universes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's Jay and Silent Bob are a funny running gag, and then to make their own movie, in retrospect, I probably would have been like, but then like Empire. What is it? Jay and Silent Bob. Empire Strikes Back. But Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I remember thinking was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I think it could work. And they released a photo of it too. I don't know if you saw it.
No,
they just look like Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be funnier if it was like an old photo.
Yeah,
it's just like the same one.
Yeah, but Silent Bob looks a lot skinnier. Kevin Smith, he lost a lot of weight, so good for him.
Oh no, the timeline is ruined. Everything's ruined.
Yes. So here's anything else you got to say about Jay and Silent B? Jay and Silent B?
No.
All right, so here's something. Apparently, test screenings for the new Avengers Endgame movie have been so good that they're thinking about keeping its over 3-hour runtime. And they said there's rumors now that this movie is going to be so long they're going to put an intermission in it.
That is so awesome.
That's cool.
More content.
That's right.
And that means it kind of sounds like everything is important, that they're not willing to cut anything.
Yeah. So there's rumors that there's going to be an intermission. I don't know how true that is, because the thing with intermissions is like a lot of movie theaters, or more so studios, don't like intermissions because they can't show the movie more movies in that day. But the thing is like, this is Avengers Endgame. You know you're going to make your money.
Oh, absolutely.
You know you're going to make your money. And honestly, I kind of miss intermissions, you know? It's just a cool thing.
Yeah.
So I think it would be cool. I think it would be dope.
It would be cool too.
And the fact that the test screenings are going so positive. I know test screenings don't mean like that much, but that's cool. I mean, the whole point of test screenings is to be like, what did you like, what didn't you like, so we can cut some stuff out. But if everyone loved it that much to where they're like, yeah, don't cut a thing. Don't cut a thing.
That sounds amazing.
That's crazy.
But also, I wonder how many of these people are just like normal people that just casually like him, or if they're just hardcore fans.
Exactly, like people who are just
they're
scared.
Like biased. They're like, I don't want to see.
That's what I'm nervous about too. You know, it's like, oh no, the longer the better, because the fans obviously want something longer. But if it doesn't suit the story, like
no, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
They Russos, they haven't done anything wrong yet.
Not yet. I'm hoping this is the last one of the golden age of the MCU, so they better fingers crossed, dude.
Yep.
All right. That's pretty much all there is. So here's some sad news but good news.
Mm-hmm.
Sad news is David Fincher's World War Z sequel is officially dead. Apparently.
Yep.
It is dead. Apparently he wanted too much budget. The budget kept inflating, and then they're like, no. What was weird, though, was that even though that was canceled, and this was the same headline, so this is why I put it as, the same headline. This is not two pieces of news. So Warner Brothers canceled that movie, but now, because that movie's canceled, apparently, they're spearheading the Mad Max sequel. So that's good.
And, I mean, he's not a part of it, though, right?
David Fincher?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
They just wanted to use the money that he wanted and then just throw it
at Mad Max, yeah. So
gotcha. Which that sounds awesome.
I want to see a Mad Max sequel.
For me, that's a win, just considering that I haven't seen World War Z.
Oh, okay.
And I love Mad Max.
Oh, Mad Max is so good.
Yeah.
It's like a good news, bad news situation for me, but I love Mad Max, so I can't necessarily.
And when we watched it, you seemed very enthusiastic about it. You said you weren't you were kind of whatever.
When I first saw it, I was like, why is everyone praising this movie? I like the movie, but it's not game changing for me. But then I saw it a second time, and I was like, okay.
Which is funny because you just saw it in a room.
Yeah.
Just a generic household room.
Yeah.
As opposed to seeing it in theaters, right?
Yeah.
You saw it in theaters.
I did see it in theaters.
Weird.
It is weird. I don't know why. It's just I don't know. Don't know why.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it more the second time around.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. I'm just a little disappointed because I did want to see what David Fincher would do with a big budget blockbuster style movie.
Yeah, I welcome anything that he does. Really.
Exactly. And I feel like it would have been sick. And it kind of sucks we're not going to be seeing his version of it. But you know what?
Yeah.
That shit like that happens all the time. Okay. Last piece of news here. DC, what are you doing?
DC, what are you doing?
DC, what are you...
That's the headline, too. Somebody actually wrote that. DC, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Aquaman was great, man. It was a ton of fun, but a trench movie spinoff? Are you serious? You haven't even seen Aquaman.
No.
So let me explain it to you. There's a part in the movie where he has to go down to this area called the Trench, which is this abandoned kingdom of the 7 kingdoms of the sea or whatever. And it's just full of monsters and really fish humans who have regressed in their evolution, and they've become monsters. They can't see light. They can only see in the dark. It's sort of like the Abyss, right? It's really horrifying.
Yeah. Sounds like a drop off, like the Finding Nemo thing.
Yeah. So it was just a location that Aquaman needed to go to get an item to go to his next location. Right? Why on earth would they want to make a movie based strictly on that location?
Why did they think that it needed explaining?
Yeah. It's just a plot point.
Who would be the main character in this?
Apparently there are no returning cast members. It's all new. And I'm like, why are you making it? That's like Marvel making a Chitauri movie. Remember the alien race from the Avengers?
No.
Why?
No.
Yeah, the ones that Loki said.
That is 100% what it's like, though.
It is 100%. It's why are you making... No one wants to see this. It's Marvel hasn't even gotten to the point where they got that cocky to where they're making pointless spin-offs.
Yeah, they're just let's make a Ronin film.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Or let's make a...
And that would actually be more,
interesting than a Trench movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not... They're not let's make a Hit Monkey movie. I don't know. You have to... you got to earn that. And I don't even think Marvel.
And I don't care what the numbers are for Aquaman. I don't care how. Like, I don't think anybody cares about that.
Yeah, that's like Marvel saying, "Hey, let's make a Howard the Duck movie." I'll be like,
"You already tried. They already tried that once."
Yeah, it's like, nah, I'm good. But I would buy a Howard the Duck movie more than a Trench movie, a movie based solely on a location that was in Aquaman. Like DC, we just talked about this. Who is making these decisions?
Yeah, we just lectured you. What the hell? Don't you listen?
And it's upset some people. So
yeah.
So,
but the thing is, it's I don't think it's gonna work.
No,
I don't know anybody who heard that and they're like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Do you think this is gonna be just one of those other movies where they just announce and they don't make?
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
Holy crap. We just went through the entire list the last episode.
It's literally just them trying to stay relevant.
Pretty much. Holy crap, dude.
This is just the boy who cried wolf at this point.
Yeah. I swear on my life, if they make a Trench movie before a Green Lantern movie or a Flash movie, I'm done. Like, that is it for me. I'm like, DC, come on. I say that, but that won't. I'll still watch every movie that comes out. But, wow, dude, the Trench. Okay. All right, well.
Yep.
All right.
So that's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay. Trailer trash.
No segue on that.
I was trying to think of a segue, and I just thought I would have an awkward pause. Hold on, let's do another awkward pause. You ready? Trailer. Oh,
what the fuck?
Right,
what is happening?
Trailer trash.
I can't do this. I'm sick.
Sorry, that was a good transition. All right, so there were a lot of Super Bowl trailers, as we said, that were released. A ton of them. A lot of 30 seconds.
I probably forgot about them. Let's be honest.
All right, well, let's start with Us.
Okay.
What are you thinking? What do you think? Yeah.
Again.
Let's talk about Us.
For me, it looked a lot like the first trailer. But I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's still ambiguous. Obviously, there's not much you can say in like a 30-second kind of span, but it does look good. When I first saw the first trailer, I wasn't necessarily like harping on it, but I wasn't jumping on the bandwagon of loving it like everyone else.
Yep.
But after kind of letting it soak in a little bit, and after seeing this Super Bowl spot, I'm like, you know what? It's growing on me. I'm coming around to it.
It's got really good visuals.
Yeah, the visuals are really cool and kind of horrifying, and I like original movies, and this movie seems like, obviously, it's doing original things, so Jordan Peele, he seems like he knows what he's doing. I'm not the biggest fan of Get Out, but this looks like it's taking itself in a different direction. As I said, like when we talked about the first trailer, this seems like it's going to be an allegory for black-on-black crime, but I could be wrong. It could be something completely different, or it could not even be socially related at all in accordance to horror. It could just be a typical horror film.
And tonally, I don't really see how he could have room for anything like comedy like he did in Get Out. So I feel like this is going to stick to the horror roots.
No, I think this is going to be a straight horror for sure. I mean, he gets kind of offended when people say horror comedy, but Get Out is a total horror comedy.
It has comedy moments in it.
Yeah, like there's a difference between comic relief characters and having a character do like a whole Three Stooges.
You have to know when to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
To separate the two.
Yes.
Like a Calm Before the Storm is fine, but when you're in the middle of the horror and like you have a character just go on a rant for 5 minutes, that becomes a comedy. Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. And when like there's a scene, like an intense scene that just ends like in a joke, I am T.S. motherfucking A. That's a total joke moment. That's a total comedy moment.
Yeah. Sorry to just ruin it by just coughing.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. So, but again, Jordan Peele is a talented dude, and I'm looking forward to what comes next from him.
Sure.
So Us looks good. Speaking of Jordan Peele, that dude's been busy.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Twilight Zone trailer. You know what was funny about this teaser trailer was that imagine watching the Super Bowl and then that shit starts happening.
Yeah.
You think like, oh shit, like the TV like just fizzes out.
What? Alien invasion!
What happened? CBS, what happened? Yeah, I mean they've done that before. Like I think Verizon did that where they would like cut out whatever, and it would be like this wouldn't happen to you if you had Verizon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Fuck you!" Like freaking out because they thought they actually lost their cable feed.
That's a good campaign though.
It is a good campaign, and I like it. Do you think Jordan Peele can fit The shoes of Rod Sterling, though.
I mean, can anybody?
I don't think anybody can. I mean, I remember watching the Forrest Whitaker 2003 revival of the Twilight Zone, and he did. I mean, I think Jordan Peele is going to be better than Forrest Whitaker, 100%, because at least Jordan Peele has some degree of horror background.
Yes.
You know, and he can deliver things in that Rod Sterling-esque way. But no one can fill the shoes of Rod Sterling.
True.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say one thing about it. It's kind of weird. It feels very vague, the things he's saying.
Yeah.
It's a man that is everywhere and nowhere, and it's I want this to be a little bit more specific on it.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was just trying to say kind of fantasy, jumbo, let's make this kind of odd,
Very, very, very vague. So
yeah.
I hope that it becomes a little more specific on every storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But overall,
I mean,
it's got a good tone to it.
I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone. I love the show.
I'm a huge fan of it.
I think it's awesome, and there are some episodes in there that are just classics, dude.
Yeah.
The Outer Limits too is actually pretty decent too. It was just kind of like a diet Twilight Zone,
Twilight Zone.
But the 2003 revival was.
I saw some of the 80s ones.
I've never seen any of the 80s ones. I didn't even see the movie. Did you see the movie?
Nope.
I haven't seen it either. But I mean, it's pretty famous though because of the accident that happened on that movie.
Oh, okay.
And what was I going to say? Do you think that a Twilight Zone revival is necessary though with Black Mirror? Because we already have Black Mirror.
It's different.
It is different.
It definitely plays on a lot with technology in almost every capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're probably going to do that with this Twilight Zone, but I'd rather that they just go back to their roots and kind of come up with creative stories.
They're probably going to have much more fantasy elements and sci-fi elements too.
And because it's a 30-minute block, if it's going to keep up with the old stuff, it's probably going to be a little bit more minimal.
True. I mean, I like anthologies,
Yeah, me too.
I like anthologies, which we'll get to later. But actually, we'll get to now, considering segue.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of anthologies, which this movie might be, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I can't see it being anything
else, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they pull a Goosebumps and have,
it all
kind of the same, all the stories kind of form into one.
Yeah,
but
get out of
from
here.
There were 4 or 5 30-second spots that kind of showcase the different stories and the different monsters. I would rather definitely have them kind of be their own story, because some of them seem to have sort of a different tone, even.
Some of it seemed like body horror.
Yes, and speaking of that, real quick, I want to tell you, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, as you know, is a classic kids horror book. It's sort of one step above Goosebumps a little bit. But even then, though, I remember reading it in elementary school. It was in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading the stories and being the one that always stuck out to me was the girl with spiders in her face. The spiders would be in her face, and I would read that and be this isn't scary. Come on, really. And even as a kid, I'm none of these stories are scary. Seeing that shit in live action, though, is kind of freaky, because you saw that story in one of the TV spots with the spiders in her face.
Yeah.
And you see the thing move, and I'm okay, you know what? Seeing this translated into live action,
it's pretty gross. But what did you think about the other ones?
That too is I feel you see the image on the book cover, and you see all the little drawings and stuff of these monsters, and they never scared me. When I was a kid or when I was reading them, because again, this is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is PG horror. It's not it's not anything crazy. I don't know what they're doing for the movie, if they're turning it into PG horror. I sort of or R-rated horror. I doubt it.
I don't really see it from the ad.
I think it'll be a PG-13 style horror. Sorry, what was the question again?
How do you feel about the other ones?
I feel they're translated really well from the drawings to the movie.
Yeah.
I think it could work. Seeing it in live action really changes the dynamic for me, and I think it can make it a lot more scary.
See, when I read those, I didn't personally read them. I had them kind of read to me in a way, sometimes.
Yeah.
And not knowing what the thing looked like had my imagination running wild.
Right.
And this one, seeing it directly in front of you, and then it just kind of never showed up to you in an interesting way. Mm-hmm. It kind of the whole being dragged under the bed type thing. Yeah. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's almost inescapable, and to see that it just kind of felt a little generic to me.
Okay, I can definitely see that. I'm just curious what they're going to do with the movie, if it's going to be an anthology or if it's going to be like one storyline with like all the monsters kind of there. Again, you know, in the book, because you said you didn't actually look at it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
Like, they have pictures of the monsters, like, in the book.
Yeah, and I've seen
like,
a couple of them.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting what they do with it. I don't think they're going to go full horror with it, but they might. Maybe they'll go full R-rated. I really don't know. But I'm impressed with it. I think, honestly, for me, this was probably one of the most impressive TV spots.
I'm just kind of... Don't get me wrong, like, a 10-second thing is not... It's not going to deter me from watching something like that.
For sure, yeah.
But I'm just like... I think it had more of an effect on me when I was a kid, listening to the stories rather than seeing them played out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. I thought it'd be a little bit different, a little bit more gothic from, like, you know, because it's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this seems kind of different. Like, even the girl with the spiders in her face... in the 10-second spot, it almost seemed like she was in the 50s. Didn't it seem like that?
I really didn't get it.
She was in like that pink dress. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but I remember not being scared by reading that story, and I always thought that book was so overrated. Kind of, you know, I was always like...
Wow, dude, a critic even at that age.
I was always like, this is not scary. I'm like, it's not scary. But seeing it in live action, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can see the horror now, so... That's good. But I'm not saying the book is bad or anything.
No,
I mean, it's a famous book, but... Yeah. So,
I'm not... I think we disagree a little bit, but not too drastically. I mean, I'm not saying I won't see it.
But I think I'm more impressed with it than you. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine, even though you're wrong. No, I'm joking.
Okay, all right.
I'm kidding. So, let's talk about some other things. Want to go animated right now?
Sure.
All right, let's talk about Wonder Park, shall we?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't know. No.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. It looks like an animated movie.
Yeah, I was kind of on board at first, and I just think it got a little carried away.
It's a cool premise, and I think some of the visuals are really nice.
Sure.
But the dialogue and just some of the slapsticky kind of like humor.
Yeah.
I was like, really, like, don't stoop to this. This could have been a movie that was above that, you know, and kind of like. And been more about achieving your childhood wonder and retaining your childhood wonder, because I think Wonder Park, I think that's what it's about, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like putting like fart jokes in there, I was like,
yeah, that's the kind of thing that I appreciate with something like Spider-Man, where like when I was saying that they don't like take the child audience for granted or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this is exactly what I was talking about, is that type of humor.
Yeah, 100%. So,
not cool, man.
I feel like the potential is there, but I'm just not feeling it right now. Who knows? Maybe some of that stuff isn't going to be in the movie. I didn't see Sherlock Gnomes, but I watched a review of it.
Or maybe it's as simple as this is strictly for kids and not for parents too, so we wouldn't even be the target audience.
But I watched a review of Sherlock Gnomes, and they said that I did watch the trailer, and it was horrendous. Like, a lot of fart jokes and, like, just dumb shit.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And then, and, like, twerking gnomes and stuff. And then I watched the review of the review guys doing it, and they said none of that's in the movie. They said, like, 50% of that trailer is not even in the movie. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So maybe this might be the same thing.
It's not like what was it, like Norm of the North, where you get that.
Oh god, I didn't.
And it hit 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, it did. Yeah, good stuff. Let's talk about an animated film that
looks good.
Looks actually good. Toy Story 4. Holy crap!
Still killing it.
Killing it. Okay, I don't know. I know your TV's a little weird with YouTube videos. I saw this actually on TV while watching the Super Bowl, and I didn't know it was Toy Story 4. For a split second, that establishing shot, I thought it was real. I thought I was looking at a real image.
Yeah.
I could not believe. I was like, wow.
It's because they're always up in the game with animation.
They really are, dude. It's crazy. It's weird how innovative the first Toy Story was, and yet you look back at it and you can see how rudimentary it is compared to something like Toy Story 4 now.
Yeah.
You know, or Coco or Frozen or something.
And they've always been like 10 years ahead of their time. It's going to take just standalone Disney to hit for 10 years for them to hit that kind of animation.
Yeah. That's insane, dude. It looked so good.
Yes.
Like, the textures are all there. I'm like,
and that's not even the story. Like, the story looks pretty good, too.
Yeah, I mean, Little Bo Peep is back. We saw her back in her, like, kind of get up. Although she's not in her dress. She's, like, in her, like, fighting clothes. So, Yeah, because I always wondered what happened to her. She wasn't even in the third one. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, whatever happened to Little Bo Peep?
There you go.
So,
You find out next.
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, it looks super good, and I like the setting, the carnival setting. I wonder how did they end up there. I wonder what the story is.
It's got me wondering.
And then Jordan Peele again. Jordan Peele was in 3 of these freaking
trailers.
Of the trailers we talked about today, dude. Yeah, Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key were the stuffed animals.
Yep.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, it looks so good. You can see like the texture of the fur and stuff on them.
And of course, I gotta say one thing, because you know me, I'm a pessimist because I suck. But I just really hope that they just don't make this feel episodic in any way.
Yeah.
I really want to know how they got there, and I hope that it's just like, we just start walking there.
I kind of hope this is the last one, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it ended perfectly, first of all, with the trilogy.
True.
So for them to go and do a 4th one, I think...
That's why it's kind of an uphill battle, but, you know, the charm is still getting
The charm is still there, dude. Like, you watch these characters, and it's like, we're 24, 26 years old, and it's like, fuck, dude, they still get us. They still get us. Like, you still love these characters, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people in our age group, like, that was their first movie they saw, like, in theaters, or in general, is Toy Story.
That was my brother's first film that he saw in theaters, and I think mine was Lion King.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see? I wish I knew what the first film I ever saw in theaters was. I wish I knew, but I just don't. I just had to ask my mommy. Of course I did. Of course I don't remember it, but I remember watching it all the time on VHS. Yeah, dude. But yeah, Pixar, Disney has absolutely been killing it with these animated films, dude. So good. So good.
Yep.
Can't wait for it.
Can't wait.
So speaking of Disney, let's talk about 2 trailers that I didn't see. I didn't watch.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to be spoiled, first of all. And I understand that it's just 30 seconds and it probably doesn't spoil much. But I have a 2-trailer rule. And I already watched 2 trailers from Captain Marvel. And we're in the point now where studios try to basically show the entire movie. You know?
Yep.
And if I watch this Super Bowl trailer, I can't watch the next Avengers trailer.
Because of your code.
Because of my code. So... Plus, I don't even know if I even want to watch the next Endgame trailer because...
you want to go in as blind as possible?
I want to go in as blind as possible. So, you saw them.
Yes.
I didn't. Let's start with Captain Marvel.
Okay, Captain Marvel, that really didn't do much. It kind of just leaned into its comedy side a lot.
Okay.
It was very, light. Definitely not dramatic like the other ones. I'm still not swaying in any way, shape, or form, but I'm it's not doing anything more for me personally.
Okay, is Coulson in it? Because Coulson hasn't really.
He is. I know he's not.
Okay, because he appeared for a second in one of the trailers, and I'm like, I want to see him act.
It did not, as far as I remember. I didn't see him. No.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have any lines or anything.
What about Brie Larson's performance?
Again, it's kind of comedy based. It's just it kind of their quips is what's really carrying that thing.
Okay.
Like I said, it doesn't really do much, but however, the Avengers one does.
Okay.
The Avengers one is for me, it's so epic.
Really?
And you get to see all of the characters that are still there, and it's what they're doing, how they're prepping and stuff, and it looks so exciting.
Dang, dude!
And then of course they have this shot where they're all walking together, and it's like, let's go!
Oh, damn!
And they're kind of eclipsed in the sunlight, so it's just their shadows.
Oh, damn!
Dude, it looks so good.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, that's hyping me up. That's getting me very excited for it.
Does it look dark? Darker?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so there's no comedy whatsoever.
No, they're not leaving any room for that, and I'm kind of glad. I'm sure that there will be some jokes in it.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, that's going to keep them sane.
Right. But, oh, damn, that's great.
It's epic, dude.
I gotta, oh, gosh.
Don't say you gotta see it.
Yeah, I know.
Stay strong.
I can stay strong. So, yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is, Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe.
Uh-huh.
And you know what else he is?
Shaft.
He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Classic Shaft. I've never seen any of the Shaft movies. Have you?
Neither have I.
Yeah. So I don't even know if the one with Samuel L. Jackson is a reboot or if he played the son of the original Shaft. And now we have the son of the son of the son of the original Shaft.
So it confirmed Samuel L. Jackson does play the son, in this one at least.
Yes, in this one. So Richard Roundtree, Samuel Jackson, and Usher T. Jackson, is that his name?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
Those names went by real quick.
Or Jesse T. Usher, I think his name is. And Regina Hall's in it. Looks good. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty. I was actually surprised.
There's some style in there. The jokes are pretty cool.
I mean, Shaft is
nice.
like the height of the blaxploitation era. You know,
Yes.
Shaft is like the blaxploitation film. So obviously, if you do a blaxploitation
like
film,
Superfly.
yeah, exactly. If you do a blaxploitation film nowadays, it kind of has to be self-aware. I mean, maybe not to like Black Dynamite level, where that was basically just farcical. This seems less farcical than that, but it definitely seems like it still acknowledges like what it is.
Yeah, the roots.
You know, the roots, and it's taking the whole kind of misogynistic era of exploitation films and sort of bringing it into the modern era, and that's kind of funny. I mean, it's been done before, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's crazy is that this movie is directed by Tim Story, who is doing the Tom and Jerry movie and the Monopoly movie.
So do you think this is going to determine if you have any faith in the other ones, or
maybe? I mean, he did Barbershop and the sequels.
I haven't seen any of that.
Barbershop, I remember being pretty decent, but I can't remember. And then he did the Fantastic Four movies, though, the first two. And those were...
yeah, so...
Yeah, I didn't think
so. You know what?
I'm not gonna... bad, but...
I'm not going to diss him for that or whatever, because the whole Marvel stuff, it was a wreck before.
Oh, yeah.
Actual Marvel
but before, before Iron Man, no. Like, if it wasn't Spider-Man or X-Men, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, so going with the Fantastic Four, which is difficult in general, because they're such a product of their time.
Yeah.
To try and do that, it was very difficult in and of itself. So I give him some credit, and this looks good. I'll be real.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good actually.
And I love the Watchmen shot. That was
awesome.
That was so.
I'm so glad that you thought of that too when you first saw it.
Yeah, I did. That was the shot that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
And there were some funny jokes. You know, pulls out a knife. He's like
the bullet.
Yeah. That was great. And you have like the woman who's like fawning over him as it's happening. That's funny. Yeah. Or it's like, you gotta excuse my dad, he thinks he's the Black James Bond. He's like, if that guy was real, he'd think he was me. It's like...
yeah, good wit to it. So, yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
I actually didn't expect to before.
Yeah.
Not that I really didn't have any expectations is what I guess I meant.
Right. And I love... he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I love that part. Oh, it's so good.
So, yeah, I'll see it. I'll see it for sure.
Hell yeah, baby. Shut. It's good stuff. You want to talk about something that's probably not some good stuff?
Oh, this could be anything, honestly.
The sun is also a star.
Okay, yeah.
Let me just put out something first. A positive I view.
Okay.
I do like the cinematography. I like the silhouette work, the slow motion. I like the the camera movement. I like the lighting, the lens flares. The handheld look and some of the shots look really well done. I think the cinematography is actually pretty well done. I like there's that shot where the sun is like in the middle of the New York buildings. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like all that too.
Yeah.
And I like the comparison to like nature and stuff like
that.
Yeah.
There's like those cool like space shots and stuff like that with like the stock footage and stuff. They do that really well. However, the dialogue and the story is what really drags it down for me, because this looks like kind of your typical love at first sight style, like YA novel type movie.
It looked like a parody of that stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Because I remember when I first saw this trailer a couple days ago, I was like, the narration and the visuals and like kind of her attitude toward it, I was like, I thought it was going to be more of a political film, or I didn't know like exactly what it was going to be, and it kept my interest. I was like, okay, I'm with it. But then they introduced the boy and the whole I'm going to make you fall in love with me in a day thing, and I'm like, why though?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit stereotypical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, the visuals look good, but I think visuals aren't enough.
Giving it some credit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think you could put that stuff on the back burner. I think the heft of it is just not there.
Yeah, I think the substance isn't there. Yeah, and that's just kind of sad. Again, it just kind of looks like a Nicholas Sparks kind of movie.
Yep.
Like it looks like looks like a Nicholas Sparks movie hired a better cinematographer. That's what they did.
There you
go. The cinematographer read the script and he was like,
ooh.
All right, I'm going to need to pull off some great visuals with this, because that's the only thing that can keep them in the seats, you know?
Yeah. I bet any money it's going to say exactly what we just said in like the Rotten Tomatoes synopsis.
Oh yeah,
It's
while
like,
visually
it's
interesting.
very impressive.
Yeah, while visually impressive, the story doesn't.
It's nauseating.
Yeah. Okay, so but again, who knows? Maybe it could always be a surprise. Maybe they're trying to make the trailer be something different than what it is
to pull people in.
Yeah, exactly.
What people I don't know, but
yeah, maybe they're Sherlock Gnomesing us. All right, let's talk about our last trailer here.
Oh wow, that actually went by pretty quick.
Did it though? Kind of felt like we've been talking about trailers for a while.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about them for a while. Child's Play, the new one, the reboot, finally has come out.
If we're gonna start with a positive, because I think that we're both on the same page on this one.
Yes.
I kind of like that it didn't show
Chucky, yes,
Chucky's face.
I agree, and also to add to that positive, here's a positive, and I said this the last time when the image was revealed. I'm glad. Okay, some people are upset that they're rebooting Chucky. Like, how could you touch the Chucky franchise?
Yeah, like it's untouchable.
First of all, to me, Chucky has never been scary.
Yeah.
Ever.
Agreed.
First of all. So I understand when it's something like Freddy, where Freddy is sort of like a comedic character, or Evil Dead, that's sort of like a comedic horror. If you take the comedy out of that, like, I understand people's concern. But with Child's Play, the first Child's Play tried to be scary, and like even some of the sequels tried to be scary. It just didn't work for me. So I feel like if you're going to try and make something genuinely scary, I feel like you should try at least with Chucky, because he deserves to be scary, but he just isn't. Also, again, how many straight-to-DVD sequels do you need to prove that this series has basically just become a parody of itself? And people are like, how could they reboot it? Just do a sequel. I'm like, no.
There's 300, and most of them are straight to DVD.
And they're awful.
Yeah.
They're horrendous. They're garbage, dude. Not to diss on anyone's films, but they're bad. And they know they're bad, and I understand that, but I don't know why it's upsetting people that they're rebooting this beloved franchise when, again, I don't think that franchise is that... I think, first of all, it's overrated. And then, there hasn't been a good Chucky movie, arguably, since the first one. You know? The first one was kind of an unexpected...
You can probably argue too.
Yeah, Child's Play 1 and 2. I remember Child's Play 3 was...
Is it the one where they're the military?
I think that was the one where they were in, like, the factory, maybe, and, like, some dude's, like, eyeballs, like, freaking... He was, like, in an eyeball machine, and, like, his eyes were replaced with doll's eyes. Do you remember that? It was really bad. I remember...
That was in the second
Was that in the second one? I don't know. Point is...
They all blend together.
They all blend together. So if you're going to take an 80s horror icon and actually try to make it legitimately scary, I feel like Chucky is the most deserving. That being said, the movie itself looks kind of typical to me.
Yes, I 100% agree. That is the word of the day.
Yes, typical. First of all, I don't know if I can buy Aubrey Plaza as a caring mother.
Yeah, which we've expressed that concern before.
Yes. Can she... First of all, I know she's in her 30s and she can totally be a mother, but she just doesn't look like a mother. She looks young. Isn't that... I know that's kind of strange. It's like Dane DeHaan playing a father. Like, I understand Dane DeHaan is like 35, but like he does not look 35. It would be weird for him to play a dad.
I think she does look kind of older in this one.
You think so?
I feel like they added like crow's feet or something.
Yeah, it makes sense. But do you think she can pull off like
caring
for a son?
Like, I personally don't see it. So
yeah, like caring for a child.
I'm in agreement with you. I do agree that this does look pretty typical. But what I hope happens if I was to see this, even or just a good idea in general, is don't show the face whatsoever, which is kind of weird. Don't show it until the end.
Yeah,
turns out to be fucked up, and then it's like, why did they trust this thing to begin with?
Yeah, that could be.
And it's like because
true.
This kid might be like a loner or something like that, and that like that's his. Like,
that's very true. And I'm kind of interested in what they do with it too, because obviously they're going full horror, like you can tell, but they're also seeming to add a Black Mirror style like technology kind of element into it, because now Chucky's a high tech doll.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, so are they going to do the spirit of the serial killer in Chucky, or are they just going to make Chucky like a robot that's just like killing them?
Robot. He just has like machine guns in his arms.
Yeah,
and stuff
right.
Like that.
Or is he just like a rogue AI that's just like killing people?
I'm not sure, but did you also get the feeling that they kind of showed a little too much with the whole like they kidnapped the mother type thing at the end of the trailer?
Oh yeah, like the mother was tied up.
Yeah.
Stuff
Do you
like
think that looks like that would be like the climax of the movie?
That's definitely the climax of the film. It didn't really bother me.
For a minute trailer, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is a bit weird. But maybe that's really all they have.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Because you're right. Because I mean, again, they could be going with a completely different formula as compared to the first one. But the first Child's Play movie, you didn't know Chucky was, or like the mother at least didn't know that Chucky was behind everything for most of it. You didn't even see Chucky move until the end of that. You know what I mean? Like stuff would just happen. And then Chucky didn't start running around until like the very end of that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Know? So I don't know.
Pretty uneventful.
Yeah, it kind of is an uneventful movie. Like 90% of that movie is just the kid trying to convince the mom that Chucky is doing these things.
Yeah,
You know?
and he sounds like such a cartoon character, the voice actor.
Yeah. Chucky did it. Yeah,
but, no, I think we're both on the same page on this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, but I'm definitely not in the camp of these guys who are like, don't reboot Chucky. It's precious. I'm like, have you seen the last like 4 straight to DVD films?
I bet they
They're
haven't.
terrible. Yeah, exactly. But even like Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, I didn't see them, but they looked bad too.
They're bad.
And those were in theaters. So this I rarely say this, but that series needed a reboot, like 100%.
I personally just give it up.
Oh yeah,
give it up.
Oh yeah, but they're not going to do that.
Of course not.
They're not going to do that.
It's not the world we live in.
Just, I find Annabelle more terrifying than Chucky, 100%.
I thought Annabelle was like to compensate for Chucky.
Right.
Yeah.
People were upset when The Conjuring came out, and they were like, they didn't find Annabelle scary because she doesn't do anything. She just sits there, and I'm like, what do you expect Annabelle to do? Like, you just expect her to like get up and start chasing people like Chucky,
choking people out and stuff like that.
Yeah, like choking people out like Chucky. Like that's just not the way it is, and I think it's more psychological just to have a doll there. You know?
Yeah, and I haven't seen Annabelle, and I don't plan on it.
You should see the second one.
That's what I heard. But if I remember correctly, the trailer, just having the doll there, and then like the doll became like an actual like person or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like psychological. It doesn't necessarily mean that doll is actually there, but the fact that it exists there, that kind of makes it scarier.
Yeah. In the second one, there's a really freaking creepy ass shot where like the doll is like kind of floating, right? But then like you see like the silhouette like creep up from behind the doll, and it's like this demon just holding it. Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm like fuck this, I'm out. Like that movie scared the shit out of me.
Okay, maybe I'll have to check it out.
Annabelle Creation, so.
Okay.
Gross. Yep. So Child's Play, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we talked lot about it.
We did. This movie seems like Child's Play.
Oh, you're so clever.
I need to find a new ironic dance move, because the dab is dead, so I gotta like find something like funny to do to make fun of the culture.
I don't know. You'll have to come up with that on your own. So that's the end of the trailers, huh?
Yep.
Is it list time?
It's list time.
Oh boy.
So disclaimer: we just did this I just did this.
Yeah.
Before I totally forgot about it. I had absolutely just completely
I'm still trying to
it.
I'm going to tell you straight up. This list was so hard to do.
So like 10 minutes before we pressed record, I just looked up best movie twists and I just wrote down 5 of them. So later on I might think of twists where I'm like, oh, I should have put that on the list.
You might actually hear some of mine and be like, oh, dang, that was
damn
good.
it. Yeah, you're probably right.
This is so hard. You know what? I have to pick a number 5. Because I still haven't picked a number 5. It was that hard.
Damn.
Because I guess this just goes to show that I love a lot of these pretty comparably.
Yeah, and some of these are very well-known twists. Some of you probably haven't even seen these films, and yet you know the freaking twist. You know, That's happened to me before. I knew the twist, of American Psycho before I saw it. I know the Sixth Sense of... I haven't even seen Sixth Sense. I just know the twist.
And don't get me wrong, some of these definitely helped make the movie better, but knowing the twist took a lot out from me, and so that's probably why this is obviously these are personal lists.
Yeah.
I have some of these really iconic ones as like honorable mentions, but that's why they're not up there.
Yeah,
because these other ones fucked me up.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Because I'm rarely shocked by a twist. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of times, and I'm not trying to brag here, I can see a twist coming. Very rarely do I get so shocked by a twist. There's a couple in here I will give you those. So who wants to start with the honorable mentions? Rock, paper, scissors, it?
Oh my god.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Told you.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh!
You won.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go double this time.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, dang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
So, I'll start off with my honorable mention, The Usual Suspects.
Okay, yeah.
For that one, it's really the exexecution of it that it was so good. I mean, it's not a very complicated one, but I still really enjoy the way that it was pulled off. Yeah, and another thing with this list is it's kind of hard to talk about these movies, so we're gonna try to be like
we're gonna
really
try
surface
and not spoil them,
and not actually. I feel like I'm just gonna be talking about what it did for me, I guess, and try not to talk about its like any context within it.
For sure. Okay. And
so how many do you have, I guess?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So I have like a bunch.
Okay.
I'll name another one, and you're gonna be like, "Why is this on there?" Don't give me shit. Psycho. It's awesome. It's iconic. Don't get me wrong, but I also knew that before I went in, technically because the second one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so...
Because you saw the second one first.
Yes. So that kind of ruined it a little bit, but you know what? It's still a fantastic...
For sure.
Historical ending.
Yes. All right, want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. Planet of the Apes. I think it's a great twist. It basically kind of takes a story. It is the the epitome of like a twist ending where you think something's happening and then it's just a reversal. But there's a lot of also political commentary there, and it does kind of. I mean, it's easy to look at that twist now and say, "Oh, okay, that's pretty typical." But back in that day when that came out, that was pretty amazing. Because think about it, we've seen Planet of the Apes so much, we already know the twist. I mean, it's embedded in our culture. But if we freaking go back in time and watch it for the first time, you can see that twist is just whoa.
And the fact is, these reboots and stuff like that, they make it known.
Yeah.
Because they think that everybody knows what's going to happen with this twist.
Yes,
and
exactly.
also, that's on my honorable mentions as well.
Oh, Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And also there's a lot of commentary. We just talked about this recently today. There's commentary about what was happening in the world at that time. I think this was made during like the Cold War, right?
Yeah, it was made in 60, 68.
Yeah, something like that. So, you blew it up. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
There's something they're talking about there.
Yeah. Good dialogue too at that part. Yeah, that's a great choice. Like I said, it's on mine as well. This one, now this is another thing about this list, is it's kind of hard to tell which one's a twist. Like a genuine twist. But this has been on lists, and I didn't want to include it. Because
twist doesn't just mean twist endings. Twists can mean anything.
Yeah.
A twist can happen in the middle of a film.
So I got to include The Wizard of Oz.
Damn.
Wizard of Oz. I didn't think of that. So it's such a good ending, and the consequences are still there from like the story. But like when you experience in this fantasy world, it really helps you like in the real world, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no other real way of saying it.
Pretty much, yeah.
When you learn something about yourself in like even like if you learn something about yourself in a dream or something like that, you can. I just spoiled the ending.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wizard of Oz, man.
Dude, Wizard of Oz, if you don't know Wizard of Oz, what the fuck?
If you haven't seen Wizard of Oz, you're not listening to this podcast.
That is the only one that I'm sorry.
You have to.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
This is why this list is hard to do.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do. But I will not, because some of these I know that you haven't even seen. I really don't want to spoil them for you.
Right. But Wizard of Oz is an exception. Like, if you haven't seen Wizard of Oz, you're not listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you're not here.
You're just not here. If you don't care to see Wizard of Oz, then you obviously you're
You have
not
better
on,
things to
you're
do.
not on a movie podcast. You know, you're not listening to
By
movie
better
podcasts.
things to do, I mean, no, you don't.
Right.
You got to get on this.
Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite films of all time.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Is that it? Is that all you got, or?
Yeah, that's what I'll do for now. Let you go.
Okay, Sixth Sense is my next one because,
Okay.
I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of that movie, but it was pretty revolutionary when it came out. And this kind of established M. Night Shyamalan as like the king of twists. And I feel like that kind of he kind of held himself to that standard ever since.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's done a twist in almost like every film he's done. Almost. Even
Sure.
even films that don't need twists, he puts twists in. So, I understand, but... You know, this is arguably his best film, and I haven't seen it, but I put it on it as an honorable mention because I feel like when you mention twists, like this is one of the first ones that just comes to mind.
It
you know?
definitely is, even
You know?
though I don't really care for the movie. It
Right.
definitely comes to mind.
And I've never even seen it, but I know the twist. That's how much it's been embedded in our pop culture. So, I mean, if this twist has stuck with people this long, then obviously something was done right. So, I put it as my honorable mention.
Okay. Now you're going to hate me so much. I'm so sorry.
I swear on my life, if this is another Alfred Hitchcock movie that I'm thinking of...
Oh, you're gonna hate me at some point, but it's not gonna be right now. It's gonna be maybe a little bit later.
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
Empire Strikes Back is so iconic,
Yeah.
and like I wish that I was there to witness it when
Yeah.
it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that had to have been shocking for
Yeah.
so many people.
Yeah.
And then to be left on that cliffhanger,
Yeah.
like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
That's bold. And that's kind of like what we experienced with Endgame.
Yeah.
We got to experience that same feeling. And of course I knew.
Yeah, it's
Going into
so embedded in our pop culture.
Actually,
yeah.
the fact that they didn't even say it, I thought it was just common knowledge. And then when I heard it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how people know that.
Right, because when it first came out, it was a huge twist. This is why I think watching the prequels first, you know, there's that whole argument, do you watch them chronologically or the way they came out? Mm-hmm. This is why you watch them the way they came out, because if you watch the prequels first, it ruins that twist for you. And it ruins that moment.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the most pivotal moments of Star Wars.
And if you haven't seen them until now, like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, there's actually videos online that I watch of people who haven't seen Star Wars or even seen the twist, and they freaking they like freak out every time. They're like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" It's amazing. It's amazing. I love seeing that reaction.
I wish I was you guys. I wish I was in their shoes.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
Sometimes people avoid these twists. You know, somehow.
And I admire those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'll just rip the Band-Aid off right now. Vertigo.
You son of a bitch.
It's such a good twist.
It
really is. But it got edged out by one movie in particular.
Okay. And which...
Because we'll get to that later.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But you wanna go?
Yeah. Friday the 13th.
Okay.
The very, very end. I think that's an unexpected twist. It's like, holy crap. Someone's still alive. I wonder who.
that movie.
Yeah.
That one was technically spoiled by me from another film.
Really?
They talk about it in a movie at the beginning. It's a horror movie from the 90s.
Oh, Scream?
Yeah. So that actually spoiled it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But that is a good twist.
It is a good twist. It must have been shocking. Yeah.
Okay, so now I feel relieved. So I'm gonna hit you with one that you don't like, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. Fight Club. Fight Club for me.
I knew that twist before I saw the movie.
I did know that. I knew that twist, but it put a lot of things in perspective. Mm-hmm. It made a lot of sense because I found that movie to be super rambunctious. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And that kind of like made more sense in why this movie was acting like that. Okay. So I think that's why I like it so much.
Mm-hmm. And that movie started the whole "it's you" twist, you know, which we talked about in my top 10 most top 5 most.
Yeah, that's why I said that I knew you wouldn't like this.
Yeah,
one.
well, that movie started that. I can't fault it for starting that craze. It's just everyone seemed to want to capitalize on that.
And
after that movie
the dialogue around it is so good. Like we've lost cabin pressure. Like let's go. Oh, it's so good.
So good. Okay. My next one, you might hate me.
Okay.
Memento.
Okay.
Memento is on my honorable mentions. I won't spoil it for you, but it kind of... There's a lot of twists and turns throughout the movie, but the guy has a goal, right? He has a goal that he's trying to achieve throughout the entire film, and then it was revealed at the end that maybe this goal he was trying to achieve might or might not have been his own doing, and it really changes the whole story perspective for you, and it just does a total 180, and it changes the whole story for you. You look at it through a different lens, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. And for a movie that's going backwards, first of all, is pretty insane.
It's excellent storytelling.
It really is.
But
Jonathan Nolan and Chris Nolan are amazing.
Yes. But I have a twist for you.
Okay.
It's not on my list.
Oh, really?
My honorable mentions. I actually desperately need to rewatch that film.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Okay, so let's go with The Third Man.
Oh, okay.
You know that movie, right?
Yeah, the Orson Welles movie.
It's a Carol Reed film, actually. But
Orson
he
Welles
is
in it. Yeah.
Yes, he's in it. That is like perfection as far as like execution on a twist.
Yeah.
So that's just as much as I'll say about it. And then this is another one where it's like I don't necessarily know if you would consider this a twist. I'm going to include it anyway, but it is misinformation. So I'll say that F or fake.
Okay.
Because it's a documentary.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a hybrid of a documentary and
a mockumentary sort
of
thing.
So I'm going to include that one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, my next one is Soylent Green. A film you've never seen.
I have not.
Oh, man. It takes place in like a dystopian future where like food has basically run out, so they drink this thing called Soylent Green. And it's basically like a sustenance thing. They actually sell stuff called Soylent now, and I'm like,
Yeah, my brother drinks it.
I don't know why they would name it that. I mean, maybe Soylent is probably like a substance of some kind. I'm probably just...
It's got just a ton of vitamins in it.
Yeah,
like every vitamin
I'm sure I'm just a fucking idiot who thinks like Soylent... They should have just named it Soylent Green. Charlton Heston is in the movie again. He's in another movie that has a lot of twists. The ending, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's revealed what Soylent Green is, and it's linked to why the world is running out of food and why the world is kind of going through like a huge problem. I won't say what the problem is, but I'll just say that Thanos would probably look at the Soylent Green world and be like, yeah, this is why I need the Infinity Stones.
Okay.
You know, that's all I'll say.
Gotcha.
And
I know you just spelled it out.
basically. But yeah, I think Thanos just watched Soylent Green.
Oh, okay.
He just watched Soylent Green. And he's like, okay, this is what every world is like.
My question is, should I watch Soylent Green?
Should you watch Soylent Green? Yeah, you should. I think it's a pretty decent movie.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and there's a twist at the end, and it's a very quotable twist. It's actually in our pop culture a lot too. Obviously not as something like "I am your father," but it's a very quotable quote.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you've never heard this quote.
Oh,
so you should watch this.
If I see it, I might have heard it.
It's gonna be one of those things where it's like
what?
It's gonna be like one of those things where I tell you, I can't believe you've never heard that quote, and then tomorrow you're like watching a random YouTube video, and then you hear it. That happens all the time.
Okay. Interesting. I'll definitely add that to my list.
Do it.
This movie kind of goes hand in hand with another movie that I'll talk about later down the line. But Lost Highway, David Lynch film.
Okay.
I love David Lynch.
Yes.
End of story. I love him so much, and this movie is kind of like a building block for another film. So I'll wait on that. The next one. Now this is a movie that I was like, this is kind of typical to keep saying the same word over and over again.
Yeah.
To add like a Pee-wee's Playhouse to it.
Okay.
You said the magic. Well, you see the secret word.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this ending kind of changed my mind, and I'm like, okay, this is actually an all right movie, and that rarely happens, and that's the Others.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the list, but I don't know the twist of The Others.
Oh. I mean, if you like your supernatural horror, I'd say watch The Others, dude.
Who is in that? Is
Nicole Kidman?
Okay,
yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd check it out because actually that ending did surprise me.
Okay.
So.
You check that out then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out before it gets spoiled for me.
Sure.
My last one.
Okay.
Book of Eli. I think is one of the most underrated films ever.
Haven't seen it, and I actually don't know what the twist is.
Yeah, there you go. The Book of Eli, I think, is a super underrated film. The Hughes brothers did it. The Hughes brothers just make a ton of underrated films. Like, they don't get enough love. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's basically a post-apocalyptic world where Denzel Washington is like a drifter who's basically trying to... He has a goal. I won't spoil that goal either, but it is a plot point. That's sort of a twist too, but the big twist comes after that, after it's revealed what his goal is, you know? Mm-hmm. And the way he gets a one-up on the bad guy because of this twist is pretty hilarious. And it's kind of prophetic in a way and like profound based on this, you know, what they're saying within the movie. So it's
Gotcha.
a very like dark, kind of gritty, but yet biblical, spiritual type movie. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't spoil it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, super underrated. Super underrated.
Dang. So, another one I'll have to add to my list. I have 2 more honorable mentions, so this actually almost like works out perfectly.
All right.
This one, The Prestige.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good twist.
That is a good twist. There's excellent storytelling in that movie. I think that's like peak. Like, I don't want to say that's peak performance Christopher Nolan storytelling because he's done a lot of innovative types of stuff. But this is like the more basic. I almost want to say 3-act structure. It's like a past, present, future type thing, and it's told really well, showing all 3 of them simultaneously, and I think there's just kind of adds to the ending, which is great. And then my last one, and I don't know if you'd consider this one a twist, but I do personally, and that's Enemy. See, I do
maybe?
because of like the representation.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I guess. It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. So I had to add that on there.
All right, cool. All right.
We're
on the actual list.
Yes.
I got to redeem myself.
You got to redeem yourself.
Yes, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Son of a bitch.
Are you serious?
Son of a bitch.
I feel like I put it out a little bit late.
It's all good. You're good. You're good.
All right. I feel like I haven't started in a while, so this is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Number 5, the one that I was talking about with the David Lynch movie,
Mulholland Drive. I knew it.
Yes. It's just a Lost Highway. Don't get me wrong. It's an excellent movie. And it's almost like a very similar turnout, except for this movie kind of perfects a lot of the holes that film had. And I don't really want to get too much into it, but a lot of people have some speculation of how the ending is. It's kind of ambiguous, but I think it's almost like set in stone. Even though he hasn't come out and say it, I kind of figured this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's a really good mind fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good fucking twist. So I love it.
Nice,
I love
dude.
that movie.
My number 5 is Arrival.
All right.
Yeah, when I first saw this in theaters, I liked the movie a lot. I said, okay, this is a good movie. I'm with it. But it wasn't until that twist that made me realize, okay, this is a great movie.
I love this movie.
Because the way the story is structured and the way that the film and the script is structured tricks your brain into thinking a certain way to where you project your own emotions onto this sort of blank slated character.
Yes, very.
And that is so innovative. And then when you realize by the end what you did, it makes you look at the film in an entirely different light. And it also works with the theme of the film, with time and stuff, and kind of like immortality and time, and you know how things are like a circle and like an endless loop and infinity. It's absolutely fantastic twist, and Amy Adams gives one of her best performances ever. I love that film. Again, I liked the film, but it wasn't until that end where I was like, okay, I am with it now. Like,
yes.
This is great.
Yes, I agree. I was definitely interested from the beginning. That is a fantastic way for the movie to play out. And yeah, good choice. Good choice. And have you ever tried rewatching the film, knowing what happens?
I haven't.
Dude, it adds another layer.
Does it?
It adds another layer, man.
I need to check it out.
Definitely.
Check it out.
My number 4. Now, this one you might have totally forgotten about.
Okay.
There's another Denis film, Incendies.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Dude, Incendies is such a fucked up ending.
That movie itself is messed up.
It's so messed up, and that's a movie where we were kind of like, what is going on here? There's like some good commentary here, left and right, but like, what is like, where is this gonna go? And when it hits you, it's like, holy shit, this is bleak and heartbreaking.
Yes.
And
horrifying.
Horrifying. It's, oh my god.
That movie is so dark. And you're right. I can't believe I forgot about that because that twist really messed me up.
That movie, that twist made that movie, like, elevated it to such great heights.
Yeah, it was.
I think.
Wow, dude. It's a great movie, but I don't know if I could rewatch it just because it was so bleak.
Oh, dude, I'm looking for somebody who hasn't seen it so I can rewatch it.
You know what's crazy when we saw that film though? Your friend we watched it with predicted that twist to a T.
Yes.
How did he do that?
It was impressive.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
Because he said it, but I'm like, there's no way that's
going
to happen. There's no way.
No way. And then we're like, wait, this is leading in that direction. Holy shit.
Yeah, I can't believe he called that.
That was...
I never would have called that twist in a million years.
Me neither. And it still shocked me, even though he said it.
Yeah, same.
So
it shocked me kind of even more that he said it, because now I'm shocked on two different levels.
Yes, true. So,
like,
of course, I had to include this movie in the list. Of course, it's not going to be on a lot of people's list, but it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Royally.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4.
Damn, dude. All right, my number 4 is Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's Star Wars, bro.
And I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, I am your father, dude. It's a great twist. Revolutionary. Changed sci-fi, changed film, it changed everything. Star Wars is amazing. I love it. The end. I don't know.
The end.
The end.
Crawl.
The iris out, you know how they do in the Star Wars.
Don't worry, this is not so that's all you got to say about that?
Yep.
Number 3. This is the one that edged out Vertigo because there's some
Is it another Hitchcock film?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's Chinatown.
Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't seen it.
That wow.
Okay.
That ending's
It's on Hulu. I should check it out.
That's a fucked up movie too.
Okay.
It's a fucked up movie. I don't know if you watch it. I don't know. You'd probably say the same thing you said about Incendies. You don't know if you'd ever watch it again after you watched it once.
Uh-huh.
But that's also shocking given the fact that the time that it was made.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this movie reached levels that Incendies reached in a way.
Really?
But like 40 years before.
Right.
So I definitely watched this movie.
Dang, gotta watch it. Mm-hmm. My number 3?
Yep.
Vertigo.
There you go.
Absolutely. This film kind of introduced me to the Hitchcock twist, like the archetype Hitchcock that we all know and love. I mean, it's fantastic because I did not see it coming. I was like, what the hell just happened? That's insane.
Yep.
I don't know how to dive deeper into it, you know? Basically, James Stewart is trying to solve, like, a mystery. Well, he's trying to solve a mystery, and then he thinks it comes to a conclusion until he meets someone else where he feels like, okay, wait a second, this is strange. This mystery might have an open end, but it's more psychological than that. It's not like he sees it and he's like, oh, I got to reopen this case. It's like he sees it and he's like, oh.
He actually almost forgets the case.
He forgets the case.
Because he becomes obsessed.
And he becomes obsessed by projecting his own, like, needs and wants into this other person. Yeah. You know? And then it's revealed that this other person might have ties to the first person, and that this might be a whole, loop-de-loop situation here. Yeah. That's all I can say.
It's such a good ending.
It is.
A good twist.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of upset, but I really like my list, dude. I really like my list.
All right, that's fine.
And this is why, like, you're going to be like, why this one above all the other ones? Mm-hmm. It's the same one you just said. It's Arrival. Oh, okay. I think that ending really elevates that movie. It elevates the shit out of the storytelling, too. Yes. Wow. And like I said, if you watch that movie again, an entire new layer.
If a twist ending, or a twist in general, is done right, it makes you rethink the film in a different light. That's what a good twist does.
And this is something that I think personally, because you say, it's one of her best performances. Don't get me wrong, it's a good performance. I think that that twist single-handedly brings almost all of the emotion to it.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that twist, basically.
So
was to show you what you were doing with that character.
If it could do that, I have to include it so high. It's that impressive.
Oh, damn.
This is my boy Denis.
It's Denis nuts.
Oh my god!
By the way, I cannot believe that we talked about Velvet Buzzsaw, and I did not make a D's nuts joke because the artist is D's. His name is like D's. I'm like, really?
We said that during the viewing.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
These nuts.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
So dumb. It's so childish, but that's what we are.
That's the house I live in.
Yeah. Okay, my number 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know which two yours are.
Okay.
I'm gonna go type them in. I'm wondering if your number 2 is my number 1.
I highly, highly doubt it.
Okay.
Until you say your number 1, and then I'll be like, oh, I totally forgot about that film.
Oh, I really hope that you forgot about this because I want to be the one to say it.
Okay, I most likely.
I'm typed them in. I'm not gonna touch my thing.
There is no way that number 2 is on your. You think I'm gonna choose this?
Okay.
So, I have a quick story here. Very rarely do I audibly gasp in films, like for twists, right?
Uh-huh.
And then there was a twist where I was watching it with my friend, and I legitimately, audibly said, "No way, no way."
I think
right?
it's the same one.
I don't
Go
think
ahead.
so. Okay, so Split.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I told you it wasn't the same one.
No, it wasn't the same
You
one.
want to know why I like the Split twist? Is because, again, it made me rethink the entire film. Because when I saw Split, I thought it was just a horror film. Okay, I thought it was a good horror film that made some odd choices. That twist straight up fixed the problems I had with that movie. Single-handedly. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, in the context of what you just gave me, it makes absolute sense now. And not only that, but that twist doesn't negate anything within the film. Because the film ends before that twist even happens.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's pretty obvious what the twist is. I'm not going to say it even though you've seen the trailer for Glass and you know.
Yeah.
But without that twist, that film could still stand on its own. But yet that twist adds something to the film, which is what a good twist does for me. A good twist adds something. Not just changes something, not just takes away, but it adds something. Mm-hmm. And it makes you rethink things. And that's what that film really did. And that film, Split was the first movie with a twist in it that really kind of blew my mind in a long time. Mm. You know?
Yeah, you know, now that I'm thinking about it,
mm-hmm.
This does do something with any filmmaker's canon. Mm-hmm. They could do something with their canon mm-hmm. at any point in time that I don't think. Oh no! You get out of here! Okay, sorry. No, so I can see where you're coming from with that choice.
Yeah, is
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I definitely did not expect that, and I'm hoping that you forgot about this one because it's gonna.
Okay.
Did you have anything to add about that?
No, yeah. I mean, the twist of Split's great.
Because I know for a fact what your number 1. I'm almost
you're
positive what your number 1 is. But my number 1, we talked about it last week, and that's what I told him before we started.
Okay.
Old Boy.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Old Boy.
Yeah.
Is such a fucking genius ending.
Never seen it, so don't spoil it.
You're fucking joking.
I've never seen it.
You're fucking joking.
I told you this last time.
No, because I thought you said because you saw the hallway scene.
I did see the hallway scene.
And it's like I thought that I didn't. I guess I tuned that out.
Yeah, I told you I didn't see it.
I'm so sorry.
I told you I didn't see it. Don't spoil it.
I will not spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
I will not spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know this is a revenge film, right?
I do know that. I mean, I know like some of the plot. Like I know that he was like caged in like a room for like 40 years, right, or something like that. So.
Isn't that a fucking weird setup?
It is a weird setup.
And it's like, why did this person do that?
Right.
Damn it, dude! What are you doing today? What are you doing today? Dude, we gotta watch Old Boy.
Yeah, we should watch Old Boy. I'm down. Is it on?
It's got to be on something.
On something, we gotta check it out because I am 100% down to watch Old Boy.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right, Old Boy's your number 2, huh?
That's my number 1.
Oh, it's your number 1.
That's my number 1.
Okay.
That shocked the shit out of me. Damn. There's multiple parts to this that I think is so genius.
Uh-huh.
And I'll if we watch it, I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that then. Not I feel bad.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Okay. My number 1. All right, we're going to say it 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to say it, okay? 3, 2, 1, Psycho. That's right. You know what it is. You know what it is. This movie freaking... The twist is so good. I remember sitting Jordan down in Florida, and Jordan watched this film for the first time, mm-hmm. and he actually didn't know the twist, and he was like, what? And it's super cool to see someone who doesn't know the twist be shocked by something you just know. It's absolutely fantastic. It adds a lot of layers to the twist. There's like a huge there's a long ass psychiatrist scene which has been known to be like the worst scene of that movie, and that's really unnecessary. And I get where they're coming from, but they got to put themselves in the shoes of a person in that time.
Yeah, they were not shown anything like this before.
Yeah, this was like a game changer. You know, so it's hilarious. The mindset of the world in that day was you actually needed a psychiatrist to full blown
to do an exposition,
to do like full blown explanation of what, you know, Norman Bates was thinking, or whoever was thinking, because we don't know. Because Norman Bates is an accomplice to his mother's murders in the film.
Yes.
So his mother is murdering people, and he's basically covering them up. And but there's a twist involving him and his mother that is absolutely insane, and you will not see coming if you watch.
If you haven't seen it, or if you haven't heard of it.
And the crazy thing is like you feel bad for Norman Bates because the mother is making him like kill these people, and you could tell that he honestly like doesn't even want to do it half the time. He's like, I don't want to, you know. But his mother's a psycho. Mm-hmm. Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his mother's making him kill all these people, and he's like, I don't want to do it. You know.
Yeah. So it's a good choice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. There's actually two twists if you think about it in that movie. Because the shower scene is kind of a twist too, because because that character was like the main character, and you're like, we're following her.
Never been done.
Yeah, yeah, and then all of a sudden, that character's not the main character anymore, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
you know.
I definitely agree with you. There's
biggest name in the movie. You're like, oh, all right,
wow,
she's gone now.
Did her like that?
Did her like that? Now, I know we've mentioned this before, but I love Scream's tribute to that scenario. Yep.
Yeah.
Like they advertised Drew Barrymore like they advertised her like she was the freaking lead in that movie. Like she's on the poster and everything. And then, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. That was genius.
That was genius. Wes Craven, I'm telling you. Yep. So that's my list.
Yep, and that's my list. So if you haven't seen any of these movies, you should totally check them out.
Yes, you should. Speaking of checking things out, you want to go to recently seen. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. I barely saw jack shit this week.
I saw some stuff.
I have 2 films that I'm going to talk about, but here's the craziest part. I'm just going to get these films out of the way, okay? And then you're going to take over.
Okay.
I quote-unquote saw a film called Score, which is a documentary on Hulu about film scoring. It's super cool if you're into that stuff and you're into music. Here's the thing, though. I barely watched it because I was on the phone with a female who I was talking to, and that basically took all my attention away from the film. Yeah. So I caught it here and there, kind of. It was basically background noise. I want to give it a rewatch to give it more of my attention. But if you're into film scoring, it's definitely for you. What's funny though is like some of the films they choose for the lower thirds, because lower thirds are like when their names pop up in the corner, and it shows like 3 movies they've done, like, you know, and then it shows like Hans Zimmer, Mark Rosenbaum, you know, freaking Danny Elfman, you know, John Williams. It shows all these people, right? Yeah. And they choose just the oddest movies. They choose just the oddest movies to represent.
That's what you were telling me.
Yeah. I'm like, why are you choosing the Mighty Ducks and Rugrats for these guys? Like, these guys did, like, The Godfather. You know, that's obviously just an exaggeration.
Yeah,
but you know my point. It's like, why are you... That was just so strange to me. But it was funny, though. It's kind of funny that those are the movies they choose. It was good. And then the next movie I have that I watched was The Barbarian Sound Studio.
Okay.
I heard about it from Brian. Brian mentioned. And the premise is really cool and it has a lot of potential. And I like the whole psychological aspect of it. And I think the whole psychology of that film is really cool. And again, it's a really cool premise. Here's the thing, though, and I'm just being real. Like, nothing happens in that film.
Yeah.
Like, nothing happens. There's not an inciting incident. It just kind of coasts. And I'm like, I've said films are aimless before, but this is probably one of the most aimless films I've seen in a long time. Like, I got 40 minutes in, and I'm like, is something going to happen? Like, I'm confused here. I mean, again, it's very psychological, and it's not in your face, which is fine. It Follows is very psychological, but stuff happens, you know?
Sure.
This, I'm like, you know, I'm not even saying that there has to be a literal, like, horror external force. Like, I'm not wanting
or like
ghosts.
A hook.
Or I'm not, yeah, or like, I don't need ghosts. I don't need, like, actual demons to come and haunt this guy or anything like that. I like the psychology of what it's doing, but there's only, like, a couple scenes of that. And I'm just like, I get what you're saying, but it's not enough to hook me into it.
Okay.
I'm just like, this film is so aimless. That being said, though, I like the potential. The performances is good. The sound design is amazing. I mean, it has to be. It's about a sound designer.
Yeah.
It's about a sound designer who's working on a horror film, for those of you who don't know. And he basically... The synopsis basically says that he starts to see visions and stuff. Like, a lot of horror starts to happen because he's working on this horror film, and it really starts to take a toll on him. That's sort of true. You'll have to watch the film to really know what I'm talking about. It's just really aimless, and I gave it like a 3 out of 5, just because I appreciated it. But again, I was kind of bored.
Okay. I'll definitely have to check it out then.
All right.
It's on my list. Obviously.
So you got a ton of films, right?
I don't have a ton of films. There's actually one in particular.
Well, take it over.
What the hell?
Take it over.
This motherfucker just shows up on the bed, just laying down, just chilling.
I'm chilling now.
All right. So there's one in particular that I'm not even going to talk about this week because I actually want to prep for this one.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore.
Okay.
Because it's a doozy.
Okay.
So I'm not even going to talk about that one. I'll save it for next week.
Sounds good.
But we'll talk about. I saw Final Girls.
Oh yeah.
Which was okay.
Horror comedy.
Horror comedy. It's not really that funny.
Okay.
It's actually kind of heartfelt, or they tried to be heartful for it.
They tried to add like drama to the mix.
Yeah. And it might be effective to some people. It didn't really do it for me.
Okay.
But I do appreciate this film because it does. There's a lot of movies like meta movies that take place in like a movie world or whatever, and it's like self-aware. But this one kind of does its own thing with it. So that's something that I did appreciate, and the movie is watchable. It is entertaining, just because it isn't funny necessarily, or like super funny doesn't mean I didn't have a good time with it. I did. It's got a great score, and I really like at the end of the movie. This is something that actually did put a smile on my face. They did have like a bloopers, and I could see how much fun that the cast was having and stuff like that. So that was awesome. So I mean, there was definitely parts of it that I did like. I'd give it like a high 5, dude. Give it here.
Oh,
high 5, maybe even a low 6.
Okay.
So there's that, and the other one that I wanted to talk about was The Mermaid.
Yes.
Which I'm a huge Stephen Chow. It's Stephen Chow or Stephen Chow. I'm not sure. I'm a huge fan of his work though. From
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle is one of my favorite films. I love it so much. It's a blast. And then Shaolin Soccer is also a blast. It's just basically just anime, but like that stuff. It's like a martial arts film, and then one of them is like a sports movie, obviously. But they're just like they're anime characters.
So what's Mermaid?
So
then?
ridiculous.
So what's Mermaid? Is that?
It's a sci-fi comedy where like I wouldn't even call it sci-fi, but that's what it's deemed as. It's like mermaids exist.
Oh, okay.
And this corporate guy, he's doing some like shitty environmental stuff. Starts one of the mermaids seeks him out and wants to kill him.
Okay, so it's furry vengeance with mermaids.
Sure, with like reptile skin and all that.
Do you even know what I'm referencing?
Furry vengeance?
Yeah.
No.
It's one of Brendan Fraser's like last films he was in. It was known to be like so bad that it arguably ruined his career.
I thought you were just talking about your fetish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Obviously.
That's the name of my sex tape, Furry Vengeance.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. You're gonna have to send it to me.
It's much better than it's better than the actual movie starring Brendan Fraser's.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So this movie is it's definitely entertaining, and like I said, I'm a big fan of his work. I feel like anybody who isn't a fan of his work won't like this movie at all. But this is like the fourth highest grossing film from China ever. It broke a ton of records, especially on like a singular day. How much money it made? It broke a ton of records worldwide. It's a good time though. It's weird. It's like there's no other way to put it. It's just weird. The transitions from dialogue and stuff like that. The effects are real bad. But if a mermaid doing like Tony Hawk stunts on a skateboard sounds fun to you, you're probably gonna have a good time. It's that kind of ridiculous. Okay. And there is some funny dialogue in it. It's very okay. If I wasn't a fan of his, I probably wouldn't like this movie at all. But I'd give it like a low 6. It's so entertaining. It's toony. There is some segments of jokes that are just they're golden Looney Tunes style jokes, and I'm actually going to show you one after this. It's absolutely fucking hilarious.
All right.
There's some moments where there's like it's impossible not to laugh, and you'll appreciate it for its wit at the very least.
So what are you gonna give it?
I gave it, like I said, I gave it a low 6.
So I just saw Mermaid and it was ass. I'm gonna give this one a low 6.
Dude, it's never gonna go away.
No,
that is never gonna go away. But this time, I'm gonna include you on the next one because this is the last one that I have. And
you said you had a 10 though. Is that the one you're
no
saving?
That is the one I'm saving.
Son of a bitch!
Why'd you spoil it?
Sorry.
No,
you're just gonna leave me in suspense, aren't you?
I'm gonna leave you. I'll leave you. I'll tell you what it is after this. How
okay,
about that?
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
But
what did we both see? Oh yeah, Royal Tenenbaums. Yeah,
which we both have not seen before.
It's good.
How are you with Wes Anderson films? How many have you seen?
I have seen Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay, I've seen it.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
Just name some films. Real quick.
Moonrise Kingdom, I've seen.
Haven't seen it.
I've seen Life Aquatic, which is my least favorite.
That's a lot of people's least favorite.
Bottle Rocket.
Haven't seen it.
It's really funny.
I feel like I've seen more than just Grand Budapest and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Isle of Dogs.
Right.
Which you haven't seen.
That might be it. Honestly, I think Grand Budapest and
this now.
And this now too. Royal Tenenbaums. I liked it.
I actually really like this movie.
Yeah.
I think that you were saying that it's kind of endearing. I describe this movie as like an artsy Arrested Development.
Uh-huh.
It's just a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, that's
very
what it's
dysfunctional.
About. It kind of has a lot of heart, and you can tell that because even you said like you don't really grow to care for a lot of Wes Anderson characters, but you actually grow to care for a lot of these characters.
And that is something that I do have to give props to the film. I will say that I don't think he's developed his style fully yet. I mean, of course, there's so much. It's saturated in like Grand Budapest Hotel. Almost every scene has like an artistic flair to it.
Right.
Between like the symmetrical framing, between like the actual backgrounds that he designed and stuff like that, or had like actual people design. Kind of like an expressionist film.
Right.
Like he hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he's gotten like, the color palettes. He's very choicey with the characters' outfits and stuff like that. And I think that does sum up the characters a lot. And I still find chuckles out of like the arbitrary background information about the characters.
Yeah.
Like some of it absolutely goes nowhere, but it's kind of funny and quirky in a way. Like he used to, like one of the kids used to have like a bug collection or whatever. It's like that literally adds nothing to their character, but it's like they just pull random ass facts out of nowhere, and that's something I find chuckles out of. But I've never found him to be like having gut busters in there.
Right. Well, the thing is too with Royal Tenenbaums is this is his third film, right? I'm looking up 2001. And you can tell that he was just developing his style. Obviously, the Wes Anderson style is still there, but you can tell that there's some techniques in there that he doesn't use anymore. Like, I remember when they went handheld and it was really chaotic. Like, obviously it was a story choice, but I don't feel like he would do that now. I don't feel like he would ever go handheld. He would
definitely work around it.
Yeah, he would definitely try to find a way to work around the handheld movement. Yeah, it was good.
And that is actually something that he has done where it would call for something like that. You would need like handheld, but what he would do is just kind of disassemble the environment and have the characters like walking like a side scroller and like almost like the like break down pieces of the set so they could move fluidly. You know 100%. What I mean?
I just think because this was his first movie, he didn't develop his style that much yet, and it might have been a budget thing too. But I can definitely see like a side scroller and like Ben Stiller is just like running chaos as you're like following him. I think that's probably the way he would have portrayed it nowadays.
Yes, absolutely.
Know? So,
but I'm definitely not upset that he did that. He had to.
Yeah. No, I'm not upset either.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a good movie.
For me, I gave this film a high 8. I think all of his films are almost like.
You gave it a hate?
I gave it a hate because I think that they all have something there that sets it apart from the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out between the two, like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. That's why I like Isle of Dogs is a little bit lower for me than Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he's always doing something different, and I think this one he just put a lot of love into these characters and made them semi-endearing.
Yeah, he did.
And that's something that I didn't feel that a lot of his other films had.
Yeah, he was definitely a lot more optimistic back in the day, it seemed like.
Yeah, and if you want a movie that's genuinely funny that will actually find like real good hearty laughs, Bottle Rocket.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of that style that he would later have, but he compensated with the laughs.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Nice.
he's very consistent.
It's a good movie. I gave it 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5 is real good. Real
is good.
fucking good, dude.
That's right.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
So yeah, I think that's all I want to do for now. I'm not willing to compromise on this one. I really want.
All right, we got it. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it, huh?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
I guess.
Closing time, dude. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay. All right. Well, you ready?
Yeah.
Here's looking at you. So